Hello, fellow robots out there in internet land. I am Sobertron, and welcome to the next episode of For Science. Today, my friends, we will be looking at the Necromancer again, but we're going to do something a little bit different than last time. We're not looking at guards or anything this time. What we're really trying to figure out is what makes the Necromancer tick, if you know what I mean. What can he do? How many mobs can he summon given its various levels? How big is his AoE attack? How far away can he use his AoE attack on you? We're going to do all that today. I'm going to lay out all the data for you so you can better plan and prepare for when he comes and visits your village. We are also going to show you, much later on, the Necromancer trap. Because if you can trap this guy, you can spawn infinite wither skeletons, which leads to beacons. And we all love beacons, don't we? So I gotta set some stuff up, namely a town hall and some like range ring type things, figure some science out. But I'm gonna do all that, and I will be back with you in a few moments. Okay, guys, we are ready for our first bit of science here. So I've marked out our village border with a nice kind of thin strip of black concrete, and then in the corners I've done this kind of crazy thing, which I'll get to in a second. But the first thing that I've learned is that there were 10 possible spawning spaces. Those spawning spaces will change every single time you log into the game or you reload your village, but there were 10 in total. I tested it 20 times. Yeah, let me just show you. So there is a developer command called Village Edges, and when you use the command Village Edges, some temporary armor stands will go down, and they will disappear after a couple seconds. Now, between the four corners of your village, there will be 10 every single time. Sometimes you'll have 0 at a location. Other times you could have like 8, but 10 in total. And I've marked out with a, fancy concrete, how big the spawning area is. So by my math and my extensive testing, it can be within 20 blocks of the actual corner of your village. This pillar is just outside our village. So 20 blocks from the corner is where these necromancers can spawn. And it's not just the necromancers. The merchant and nomads in TekTopia will also spawn in these exact same locations. So if this was waterlogged, say, then nothing would happen. Sometimes you would get, merchant failed to spawn, nomad failed to spawn, and the necromancer wouldn't spawn either. So now I'm going to try to manipulate this mechanic a bit, because there were 3 here. Let's try that again. There were 4 here. Okay, that's not bad. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to log in, back and forth until I can get about 6 in each of these things, or 6 in one of them, and then I'm going to wall off everything else, and I'm going to try to spawn in the first necromancer. Because in theory, if this is walled off, you won't get merchants, you won't get nomads, you won't get necromancers, because they can't pathfind to the town hall. So I'm going to try to find one with 6 or more, and I'm going to wall off the other 3 corners, and then hopefully when I, do my testing on the necromancer levels, I can get them to consistently or near consistently spawn in the exact corner I want them to. So I'm going to do this, and I'll be back and see if it works. So I have been summoning in our necromancer for the better part of an hour in that corner over there. It's been great because those 6 spawning spaces make it almost, over 50% of the time he's summoning in right there, and it's perfect for our testing right now. And this is what I've discovered about the level 1 necromancer. So he will spawn when you have between 8 and 19 villagers. Anything above that, it's going to be a level 2. So level 1 green cloak guy is between 8 and 19. The second set of numbers, 2 and 1. So he will summon in 2 additional undead mobs to fight with him. In the case for a level 1, it's only zombies and their variants. So in this case, husks. Because it's daytime, we're getting husks. But at night, he should summon in just normal zombies. And the 1 is the amount of mobs he will soul link with. So a level 1 necromancer will only soul link with 1 mob. So you need to kill that 1 soul linked mob first before you can actually damage the necromancer at all. The last number down here, 10 block summon. So what I mean by that is that's how far away or how close you can be to the necromancer before he does his little wither AoE attack. It could be a bit more or a bit less, but I felt 10 was the nice happy medium. So don't take that as ground truth. It could be a little bit different. Now, the one thing I didn't test and I'm not 100% sure on is, can he do his AoE attack if he can't see you, if you're not in line of sight? So I'm going to set up a little box here, and I'm going to stand in this box. And, oh, nope, not arrows. I'm going to stand in here, and I'm going to summon him in again. So let's make sure we're not in peaceful. Going into peaceful mode is the easiest way for me to despawn him. So let's go back into survival now, and we'll do a Village raid. Let's go with 19. So he should be right here. Let's check. Yep, there he is. Oh, I don't have a pick. Oh dang. Do that. That. There we go. So he shouldn't see me. He can't see me. And by now he absolutely should have done his AoE attack. So that is very interesting. I did not realize that. So let's pop out. Where'd he go? Yeah, he's right there. Yep, now he can see us. Now he's damaging us. Now he's eating our face. So let's I'm gonna test this a bit more. I'll give you a definitive answer. Where did the little guy go? There he is. I knew you had a little guy. I'm going to give you guys a definitive answer when I get back, but I'm pretty sure it's true that if you are not within line of sight of the Necromancer, he will not be able to do his AoE attack. Not that it's all that beneficial, but it's just something to consider. And it actually may help us out later on when we actually try to trap this guy. So, yeah, maybe we can use that to our advantage. Yeah, I'll test this a bit more. I'll test the level 2, and when I get back, I'll go over the level 2 Necromancer and all of his stats. Are you guys noticing a pattern here? Because I'm pretty sure I am. So let's talk about level 2 and level 3. So the level 2 Necromancer, he's the green robe guy. He'll spawn with 20 to 29 villagers, and he'll have 4 total mobs he spawns in, and 2 that are soul linked. The one difference that I've noticed between level 1 and level 2 is that he can do his AoE attack within 16 blocks. Now, that might be true for level 1 as well. I just didn't observe it based off the testing I did. Then for your level 3, 30 to 39 mobs, or excuse me, villagers. You need 30 to 39 villagers to summon a level 3, and he'll have 6 total summon mobs, and 3 of them will be soul linked. Now, the unique thing I noticed, I didn't really see it as much because of the level 1, but with the 2 and 3, he actually summoned in half the mobs as soon as he summoned in 2. So with the level 2, 2 of the mobs summoned in with him right away, and then he did his little spell summon thing, and the other 2 came one at a time. And it was the same with the level 3. 3 of the husks instantly spawned in, and then he had to summon in the other 3. The other thing that I did confirm is that you absolutely have to be within line of sight for him to do his AoE attack. If he can't see you, he won't do anything to you. And the other thing I've been testing is differences between easy, normal, and hard. I have not observed any changes in what he summons. Now, he might be doing more damage to you, but it's just really hard to kind of test that. I am wearing like fully diamond gear with protection 4 on it, so I'm not 100% sure on that. In the end, it's going to be negligible. So the other thing that happened was I accidentally logged out. I kind of wanted to keep those armor stands where I had them, but the other thing I observed is that it's bigger. It is bigger. Let me do village edges again. And you can see there's 2 additional armor stands right there. So we went from 20 initially, so now we're up to 26. Now, the vast majority of the ones I did observe were in this 20 block radius. This was the first time I've observed these armor stands out here. So it could be that it's a bit bigger, but it could also be that it's just very, very rare that it's bigger. So I would still go with, if you're trying to do something like this in your own world and trying to figure out where the Necromancer is spawning, I would go with the 20 blocks away from the corner of your village. We have yet to see any additional mobs summon in, though. The only thing we've seen thus far is husks. It's because we're daytime. Nighttime, they'd probably just be zombies. I have tested that, but it's really irrelevant at this point. I am going to go ahead and start doing the level 4. I might do the level 4 and level 5 like I did with the 2 and 3 a moment ago. But I'll be back to show you those results, see how many mobs we're getting. I have a feeling I already know the results, but we got to test, guys. We got to do this for science. It's always for science. So let me do this. I'll be back in a few, and we'll go over the results. I decided to do a quick overview of the level 4 because I noticed some interesting things about him that weren't with the levels 1, 2, and 3. So level 4 is our magenta-ish guy. I think he's magenta. I don't know. Colors are weird. So he spawns with 40 to 49 villagers, which is following the trend for the most part, except for our level 1. He spawns a little bit earlier. But the interesting thing was he didn't have a set cap. Like the previous ones, it was 2, 4, and 6. This one could be as low as 8 or as high as 11 is what I've observed. The thing that does continue is he will still only have 4 soul-linked mobs. So the level determines, at this point anyway, we haven't done level 5s yet, but at this point, he'll have 4 soul-linked mobs. Testing the block summon was a little bit difficult because you have to be in survival for him to do his AoE attack. So 16 was kind of within that range of what I tested previously, so I'm going to probably end up being 16 for all of them. I might have just done some bad testing on the level 1. So it's at this point where um, he starts spawning in wither skeletons, and this is what we want to see. We want those wither skeletons really, so we can get skulls, so we can get beacons. Um, I didn't observe any zeros though, but it is theoretically possible because he summons in a massive uh, husks in in the daytime, um, and sometimes there was only one wither skeleton, other times two, other times three. I left the zero in there just because, in theory, he could probably have zero in there. I did want to show you guys what I meant though in that last clip by he'll summon in half his mobs right off the get. So I'm gonna do 49 villager raid, which is the maximum extent for a level 4 um, necromancer. That's the word, necromancer. Hopefully it works. It did not work because he's trying to spawn in somewhere else. There we go. I'm in peaceful mode again. Dang it. There we go. Let's try again. There we go. So right there, boom, you can see he's summoned in one baby and four or three normal, and then he summoned in another baby. Now, he should be summoning in some skeletons hopefully soon, because I did not observe a zero, and that's one clear indicator. The sword renders before the rest of the mob, which is interesting. Sometimes they'll blink, which can be used to your benefit. You could see the summoning coming in, and you can get your bow primed and ready to take them out, because that's generally what I do. But you can see right there, there's three wither skeletons, which is the most I've observed. Like I said, occasionally it was only two, sometimes it was only one, but I would say on average he's summoning in three. And you can see how scary this would be if you had nothing in your way, just approaching the town hall and is gonna wreck your village. It's a good thing we don't have any villagers right now, and this is all for testing and for fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this guy. There we go. Bye bye. And I'm gonna test level 5 now, see if there's any differences, because that was interesting. I did not expect like a variable max summon rate thing. This the 8 to 11 that thing. So maybe it'll be even different for the level 5. I don't know. I've never really counted before. I just take my bow out and start shooting them. So let me test all that stuff, and then we can finally move on to trapping this guy, so we can get all the beautiful wither skulls to kill the wither, to get beacons. Glorious, love it. But I'll be back in a bit. So guys, this level 5 Necromancer, the red cloak dude, the cream of the crop, the top guy, the top baddie who can attack your village, is very interesting. I never have tested this before, so this is all new to me. I just know that he's the awesome guy. You want him. So he will start to summon into your village when you have 50 or more villagers, and that number is very variable. The level 5 Necromancer will change how he does things based off the village population you have, unlike the previous one. So, on average, he's going to summon in between 14 and 21 mobs, be it zombies, husks, and wither skeletons. But he will still only soul link with 5 of them, and his initial burst summon when he first spawns in is still, it's not 5. It could be more, depending on your village population. At the base, at 50, it will be 5. And tons. He will summon in tons of wither skeletons, and it all depends on your village population. For the most part, there are some variations to it, but I'm just going to show you some things, because this was very, very interesting when I was testing this. So we're going to start off, and we are in hard. Okay, good. So let's do village raid 50. It's the minimum amount you need. So there he is. He spawned in 5 additional mobs right away. There's number 6. But right now they're all husks. Now this is very variable. You can see there's number 7 husk. The first time I did a level 50, he summoned in 14 total, but half of them were wither skeletons, the other half were husks. And you can see now that that is not the case for this. The most of these guys right now are husks, so only a few wither skeletons. So let me despawn him, and now we are going to go back into hard mode, and we're going to do another one, but this time we're going to do 100. 100 is a fairly nice-sized village, so this is going to benefit a lot of players out there, and I'm very glad that this number exists. So right away, boom, you can see at 100, the first 5 he summoned in were wither skeletons. There's number 6. Number 7 is a wither skeleton. Hopefully number 8 is a wither skeleton. Ooh, this guy is going full-on nuts right now. Do we have any husks? There's our first husk. So you can see, at 100 villagers is very different than 50. Right now, the vast majority of his mobs that he is summoning in are wither skeletons, which is fantastic. It is really, really good. So, just for funsies, I decided to do 1,000 because on my first For Science episode, I had almost 1,000 villagers, so I figured 1,000 would be a nice round number, and this is where things got really interesting. Oh, I don't want that. I want enter, and you didn't work because you probably some. There we go. Boom. Look at that. Look at that insanity at 1,000 villagers. I don't even know how many that is. It's too much to count. At least too much to count quickly before they start to roam around everywhere. So yeah, he's still Soul Links 5, but as you can see, it is very, very different depending on your village population. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up this basic trap, and it is so basic, you can set it up in all four of your corners with minimal resources and minimal effort. It is super easy and super awesome. So I'm going to do that. It's literally going to take me less than a minute to set this up, but the benefits of it, the amount of wither skulls you are going to get from it is truly insane. So I'm going to do that really fast, and I will be right back. So here we are, guys. It literally took me about a minute to do this. Super simple, super easy. So let me explain what I've done. I've created this kind of box wall, let's call it that. Wall probably makes more sense. And it creates this one wide funnel for our necromancer. And it goes all the way to our village border and each of the sides. So mob necromancer spawning is still capable because the necromancer, like all Minecraft mobs, thinks he can walk across this too wide gap here. But he can't, like all other Minecraft mobs. So once he's in this hole, he is going to still continue to summon additional mobs that we can then pick off with our bow and a looting 3 sword. That way we're far away from the necromancer so he doesn't do his AoE attack, but he can still summon in things. So I'm going to test this out with a level not game 1. Am I in peaceful? Let me check that. I am. See? I'm learning, guys. I'm learning just like you. I'm going to summon in a 100 villager raid because I feel like that's a really attainable goal for most people playing this mod. And you summon in at one of the other corners, and you did it again. Wow, this is 2 in a row? What the heck? There we go. There we go. There he is. There's our guy. So now I'm going to go into survival. Because I want that necromancer to pathfind too. And we're going to pick off these guys as we can, because we want the pathfinding to kick in. We want all the wither skeletons. There we go. Now, you want to try to kill those mobs as they enter the hole. That way he can it lower it doesn't count against his cap of 20 some odd mobs. But you might be in danger and you might have to kill some guys as they come. So just keep on doing that. Yep, look at this. This is great. Look at there's already a skull right there. Look at that right away. Boom, right off the bat, guys. We got our first wither skull from this guy. Now I've already gotten one previously, so I'm not gonna get the achievement for it. Kind of sad face. Grab it. There we go. Ah, no, no, no. You see why a bow is great when fighting the... There he is. He's in the hole. He is in the hole. So now, what I would recommend doing is tearing down the wall. Because what's going to end up happening is mobs are going to summon... He's going to summon in mobs behind the wall. So I'm going to go back into creative really fast. And see, mobs are being summoned in behind there, but they won't be able to really see you to attack you. So even if you just create a little hole right here for them to see you, it's going to be very beneficial. I recommend having a beacon at the ready and a efficiency 5 pick. That way you can instantly tear down that wall and get the glorious, glorious skulls from this. So you could literally stand here near infinitely. Now, eventually, the AI will kind of prevent the necromancer from spawning additional ones. There is a time limit on how many mobs he can summon in. I'm not sure if it's a time limit or is it mob based, but I can attest that I did this during beta when I was testing the mod for Tango, and we did this for a good 45 minutes, and they kept on coming. So here it is, guys. Very simple way to get Wither Skulls. I know I have 2 in my inventory. We've gotten 1 earlier and 1 right now, but if you just continue to do this, you can get a near infinite amount of beacons. If you're on a survival or a multiplayer server, you can then sell to other players and, be the cool guy who has all the emerald. But yeah, guys, I hope you like this. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm really happy to share it with you guys. I'm happy to share all the information I went over and how you can make an insane amount of beacons that then you can potentially sell or keep for yourself. Who knows? It's up to you. No, baby. But guys, until next time, you have a good one.